Hey everyone, Matt Scronce, Design Director at Treyarch, back again to talk about some updates for multiplayer in Black Ops 7. Okay, so the first topic I want to touch on is the whole aim down sights, ADS, while sliding, diving, wall jumping topic. So in the beta, that did require you to take the Dexterity perk. The team looked at all of our options and ultimately landed on providing the most fluid experience by default, which does mean we've reintroduced the ability to aim down sights while sliding, diving, and wall jumping by default. You do not need to take the Dexterity perk. Dexterity will still speed up those interactions, sprint to fire, slide to fire, but you will not need Dexterity perk to ADS while doing those actions. Okay, next one I want to touch on is just to reconfirm a topic I touched on in our last dev update about Footstep Volume. We have slightly increased the volume of our footsteps in multiplayer. We're very happy with where they're at, where it's going to incentivize more stealth playstyles without over-indexing on the need for the Ninja perk. Okay, next I want to touch on where we've landed with our slide tuning coming out of the beta for launch. Alongside that Dexterity change and the ADS change, we have slowed down the slide speed a bit and we reduced the distance a bit, but I promise you it still feels great, it still feels fluid, but we want to make sure that that's not the only way you can enter in an engagement. Okay, another movement topic I want to touch on are our mantles. So we saw the feedback, we agree, some of the mantles felt a little slow, so the team is going through every single mantle in the game to make sure that we have a consistent speed and fill, and everything feels fast and fluid. The next one is a meaty topic, and it's about our perks and our perk distribution. Got a lot of feedback. We made some changes ahead of beta coming out of our blog. A lot of you had a lot of feedback on that, which we appreciate. But the big changes that we're going to focus on here for launch are, one, we want to make sure that we are incentivizing and allowing for varied play styles. Two, we saw a lot of feedback on how stacked slot 1 was, so we've made some adjustments there that I think you're going to be happy with. And then 3, there were some kind of niche underutilized perks, so we've actually made some combinations of perks to make those chunky decisions and choices. Okay, let's get into the details. First change, we've actually moved Tech Mask to slot 2 from slot 1. That's going to allow for classes like Flak Jacket, Tech Mask, and Guardian for a very strong support tanky class. We've moved Tac Sprinter to slot 1 from slot 3, Looper to slot 3 from slot 2, and that's going to let you loop your score streaks. Cold-Blooded is going to slot 3 from slot 1, and that's going to allow for full stealth classes like Ghost, Ninja, and Cold-Blooded, with a wild card, of course. Scavenger is going back to slot 2 from slot 1. And then we'll start getting into the combinations of those underutilized perks that I touched on. So first up, Shadow, which allows you to move by traps without setting them off, has been added to Engineer. So that's going to be a fun perk where you can actually see enemy equipment through the world and then also approach it and not set those traps off. Vendetta, which allows you to see the location of your previous killer, has been added to Assassin. So if you really want to target a single player on the enemy team, this is going to be your perk. So one for our melee players, we've actually added Bruiser, which gives you increased health regen and score for melee kills to Close Shave. So if you want to go all in on that melee playstyle, this is going to be the perk for you. Hunter's Instinct, which gives you intel on a nearby enemy after a kill, has been added to Tracker. So that's all about tracking your enemy locations. And then one that I'm super excited about, we've actually added Quartermaster, which recharges your equipment to Gearhead, and that has moved to slot 1. And if you're all about the gadgets, or if you're all about the field upgrades and the equipment, this is going to be the perk for you. So with all of these changes to our perks, the team is very excited. We think you'll be very excited. And of course, we're very much looking forward to your feedback. Okay, next up, I want to touch on what we're doing with aim assist in Black Ops 7. So first off, we're looking very closely at the data, and the data says that controller players are winning slightly more in close range engagements, and then keyboard mouse players are winning slightly more in those long range engagements. So what we're going to do here is to try to close that gap, take a very close look at the strength of aim assist across all of those ranges, and then additionally, we are looking at rotational aim assist and the requirement for your right aim stick to be moving in the direction of your target. We'll have more concrete details to share soon. That's my time for today. Of course, we have more details coming on maps, modes, weapons, and progression as we head into launch.